Hello. One little detail that shows up in several different tools is the thumbtack option. So I'm going to show you how it works in Anchor, for example, since I just did a video on how to move an anchor. If we choose to actually, let's show you first without using thumbtacks. If this is all one long line here, and I choose to move this bottom line, let's say I'm going to make it 20 inches longer. Keep an eye here on these notches up here. They relate to the front piece. I think there's a bottom of a pocket, something that matches up. We want to keep those the way they are, but if we don't use thumbtacks, okay, you see how the whole side outseam gets stretched out and those move. So what do we do if we don't want that to happen? First off, Control Z always works. Put it back where it was. Let's go back to our anchor tool again, which was under modify. Modify means making changes to the shape, and line actions and anchor. This time we're going to choose the thumbtacks. And there are two options of where they start out by default, and we can always move them. I generally keep them at the end of each line by default. If you put it the point closest to the line, you rarely want to keep them there. I don't know. It's I just prefer to have them at the end points. My choice. So now that I have my settings the way I want, I can choose this line again. And this time my thumbtacks will show up at the end of each line. So this is one continuous line. And if I want to move this thumbtack, I hover over it until my cursor turns into like a target. There's a red center and there's a main cross, and then there's a really small diagonal cross on it. So here I don't have it chosen, here I do. And with this function, you don't click and drag like you might in some other things. You tap it once to pick it up, move it where you want, and tap it a second time to put it down. Okay, so don't click and drag, tap and release, move, tap and release. So I'm going to tap on it. Oh, I'm still in value. So I can switch that back to cursor and drag it to exactly where I want if I don't know the measurement of where I want it. And just for the heck of it, let's move this one too. We can just keep moving thumbtacks as much as we want. This one, let's change that to value. And let's say we want it to hold for the first 3 inches. Apply. Okay, so we're going to hold it for the first 3 inches. And after that, it can stretch out and do whatever we want it to do. If we decide, maybe we should hold this one where it was too, we go, okay. Maybe I want to move this one down as well. So I could move that one. Let's move it so it's approximately below that. Again, tap and release, tap and release. Once we've moved them, we've decided this is where we really want them, then we can click OK. And now we can move our line. And since I'm in cursor, I can just move it around with the mouse and you can see exactly where it holds and wherever I want to put it. So I can go back and change this to value. If I knew I wanted it 20 inches in the X direction and I want it 0 in the Y, apply, gives me a little preview. Yep, that looks right. And then OK. Not too bad, huh? So once you have thumbtacks active, you can choose if they're going to appear by default right next to the line or at the far end of the line. And you can always move them by tap and release and tap and release. I say that several times because people don't believe me and they try to drag it. I know it's habit from other programs. And then you can control exactly what changes and exactly what doesn't change. Enjoy, and I will be seeing you later.